So for my my integrated lesson plan, I did probability centers. And I used probability centers as a review for the probability unit that I taught. Um, it was a very nice way to let the kids interact with probability. And so what I did is I used a Promethean board for one of the centers. And we have Promethean boards in all the classrooms in the school I was at, and they're used on a daily basis. It's a very common occurrence, at least in my classroom, which is third grade. Um, there's a couple things I'm going to show with this. The program we're on now is called Active Inspire, and I use this to create flip charts. It's kind of like PowerPoints, but they're more interactive, which I love. So I'm going to kind of show you what I did for the centers, and then how this program Active Inspire works, and then also another online resource that I think is wonderful. So what I did is we have our probability centers, and the first one, like I said, was using the Promethean board. And so I had groups of 6 students for each center, and since I didn't want 6 people working on the Promethean board at one time because it would have been chaotic, I split the group in half and had half of them meet with me while I reviewed some aspects of probability, and the other half could review on their own with the Promethean board, and then we'd switch, and then we'd rotate groups. So simple enough. The kids loved using the Promethean board. They loved working in groups with it, and it was super interactive. And these are just a list of other centers that we did. And these didn't really include technology because of the lack of resources we had. If we had 20 Promethean boards, it would have been great, but that's not possible. So these are just some of the activity centers we did. So I use this first page in my flip chart to review probability. The nice thing about the flip charts is they're completely interactive. You can write on the chart as you like, and it's savable. So if I wanted to give the example of the percentage of people buying sports cars, or the probability, I would say 7/75ths. And we talked about that and why that is, and why it's 75 and not 12 or 18. So we just used that as a quick review before we started our activity centers. And then the students could go through this flip chart as they pleased and practice their probability using the different pages of the flip chart. And the nice thing about this is I didn't create any of this. So there's simple things like you can drag the arrow to which one it goes to. And I'm not sure why it doesn't stay because, again, I didn't create it. So it didn't quite work perfectly, but I'm going to show you how to access this. So there's lots of different pages, and some as simple as you write the answer in the line, and it's as simple as that. Some got a little more complex, and again, I didn't create this. This is a spinner that I found, and I just added it into it. So you can the students could click on it, and it would spin, and they could test their probability to see how much out of the spins they got. And so it was an easy way. They loved this one, even though it's super simple. And you could also, if you click down here, change how many segments there are. And so I told them to pick a color and write the probability for that color. For example, if we did purple, they would write the chances of getting a purple are 3 out of 11 because there's 11 options. So it's something really simple for them, and they loved doing this one. I'm just going to show you the rest of them. The other ones are pretty simple, but the kids love doing it, and within the 5 minutes they were on the Promethean, 10 minutes they were on the Promethean board, this was perfect for them, and they loved it. So now I'm going to show you how I got this, because that is the major part of the whole thing, because creating this can take lots of time. So we're going to go to, actually I have a picture to show you first. This is just an example of the students working on the Promethean board. They were 2 pens, so both students could be working at the same time, or 2 students could be working at the same time. I don't think they have them both out right now, but it's a way to keep them even more engaged. And so there's that for you. I'm going to go to prometheanplanet.com. And this is where I downloaded the program ActiveInspire, which is a wonderful program. So I'm just going to show you how to get that real quick. It's a free program, at least a simple version of it. So if you just go to support and go to software and ActiveInspire, you can download it from there. And I just run, it's not a trial version, but it's not the full version either, but it's enough for what I need, so I don't have to pay for it. The nice thing I like about Promethean Planet is you can search anything. So when I was going about working on my probability program, I just typed in probability review. And you can select the resource type you want, but I'm just going to let it go for it. And from there, it gives you flip charts that other people have made, some with things like the spinner that I used before. You can select the grade level, which is nice to kind of narrow it down. But I'll go back and adjust the search. And from there, you can review the flip charts they have. And these are really great. I found lots of great things on here. And it's super simple to look at, to download, and to adjust and use as you need. And so you can just flip through it, and I found some really good ideas, some great helpful hints. This one's not perfect, but it's not even probability, so sometimes you have to be careful, just like with anything else. But this is a free resource. I didn't have to pay anything for it to be signed up. There are some things that you can purchase, but I've never had to purchase anything from what I've used, and so it's a really great resource. I love it, and I encourage you to use the Promethean board as much as possible. One other thing I used the Promethean board for is for a science lesson that I did, and we learned how to use, sorry, this is a mess. Sorry, let me find it real quick. I wasn't going to do this. See, I use flip charts a lot. So for a science lesson, we were talking about simple machines, and I did something as simple as create an AlphaBox flip chart. And we went through, we were talking about simple machines, and so they told me everything they knew about simple machines. And for example, if they said lever, I would just write in lever, and it's really hard to do with this mouse, but that's what I get. It's easier with the pen. So lever, and we went through as a class, filled this in, and then we moved on to our activity. And the kids loved it. They were engaged. They were excited to fill in different letters, and they just loved it. The Promethean board can be used for so many things. Something as simple as having a couple students come up during class to do an example after they've done it on their own. We used this especially for math a lot, and the kids loved it. So that is just a brief overview of my lesson. And I have loved using the Promethean board and integrating technology as much as possible. I hope that this counts for the pictures, as I did not take very many pictures, obviously, but that's that, and I hope this helps you out quite a bit. So thanks.